Hey everyone, it's Michelle here with another video for the Alleyway stamps. Today I'm pulling out these two stamp sets. One of them has a sentiment I want to use that says we make the perfect pair. So I'm just going to pull out all the stamps right now so that I have them handy for my project later. So I'm pulling out that sentiment, and then on this stamp set you can see at the top there are those two birds there that would be perfect for this sentiment, but actually what I want to do is pull out the bigger bird that you can color in. This way I can add some more color to the card. Just wanted to show you another option if you have this stamp set. So I'm just going to pull those out and set them aside. And I'm going to pull out some baby blue cardstock, and this is from Paper Tray Ink. And I'm just cutting that at 4 1/4 the long way so that I can score it at 5 1/2 and make a top folding card. And I'm choosing blue here because we're going to be making a little scene for our birds, and I think the blue will be a good kind of sky colored background that I think will work really nicely. And then I pulled out some white cardstock, and I'm cutting this down to be about 4 inches by 5 1/4 so it can just go on the front of our card and leave a little edge with the blue. So now I have my sentiment. I'm actually going to cut it in half so that I could fit it on 2 lines across the bottom of our card. And I do this a lot with my stamps. I just cut them up and just make them fit for whatever project I'm working on. And it's perfectly okay for the stamps. You can mount them exactly how they were before since they're soft acrylic stamps. So I'm just going to stamp this sentiment down on the bottom. You can also see here I like to kind of just have my stamps on opposite sides of my acrylic block. This just makes it easy to flip back and forth. And I'm using My Favorite Things black hybrid ink because I'm going to be coloring in the birds with Copic markers. So since I'm going to have it out, I just use that for the sentiment as well. So I'm going to stamp 2 birds right next to each other so that it works as the pair for the sentiment. And I didn't stamp one of them okay, but I just went right over that, and since it's a clear stamp, you can see through to see exactly where you stamped before. And I'm also going to take out a scrap piece of white cardstock and stamp the same bird 4 times. This is just so that I can experiment with different colors, and I'm going to use 2 of these birds later on, but I just stamped 4 in case I didn't like the colors I was doing. So for the first 3 birds, I'm just going to try out different color combinations, and then for the last one, I'm going to pick one of the 3 birds that I like the most and then just copy that one so that I'll have 2 of the same birds. So I'm just going to turn on some music, and then you can watch this really quick and easy coloring. Okay, so now I have my 4 birds at the top all completed, and you can see I liked the yellow and green one the most, so that's why I made the last one that color. And I'm just going to go ahead with the 2 birds on my card, and just around the edges I'm going to do the same exact coloring because I'm going to cut out those birds later and put them on top of these 2 existing birds. But since I'm going to adhere them with foam dots, sometimes you can see under a little bit, so I just want to make sure the edges are all colored up so that it looks like the birds underneath are completely colored. And you don't have to be perfect here, you just have to have a little bit of color, and you'll see what I mean later on in the pictures if you don't understand right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and color those really quickly as well. And next I pulled out some twine from May Arts, and I had this idea to create the birds kind of on this wire, and I actually got the idea from a card that Jennifer McGuire made recently, and I'll link you to that video right now so that you can see what she did on her card because it was so cute and I just really wanted to recreate that with the supplies I had on hand. So I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this twine all around the card. You can see I just hold it in place with painter's tape on the back just so that it stays tight and it just doesn't go loose on the card. So you'll see here I'm just taping up all the ends of the string on the back, making sure to hold it tight before I tape it down. And this doesn't look very pretty on the back, but it doesn't matter since it's going to be taped down later. And that's what it looks like on the front. You can see it kind of looks like the birds are sitting on top of that wire, and it's going to look like that even more when we tape the other birds on top. I'm just trimming off these little stray like hairs that kind of hang off the twine. That happens sometimes when you use this kind of string, and it really bothers me, so sometimes I like to trim that down, but you do not have to do that if you don't want to because it's kind of a mess. But anyway, after that's done, I'm going to go ahead and take those 4 birds that I had colored earlier, and like I said, I'm going to be using the yellow and green birds, so I'm going to go ahead and cut those out really quickly. And you'll notice when I cut them, I don't cut the tail because the tail is going to be kind of in the background, and I just want the forefront of the body to be cut out on the front. And then after those are cut out, I took out some small foam dots and I'm putting that on the back of the birds. And for the smaller areas of the bird, I just cut a foam dot into a small triangle so that it fits into like the top point of the bird. And I'm just going to adhere those right on top. And now it looks like the front of the bird is in front of the string that we have there. So it looks like it's sitting right on top of the string. So that's exactly the effect that I was going for there. So now I'm going to pull out that card base that I had prepared earlier, and I just wanted another color behind that, and I think a brown goes well kind of with the twine color to bring it all together. So I'm just trying out 2 different kinds of brown cardstock here, and I liked the lighter one because it matched with the twine a little bit better, so that's what I'm going to go with. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down with my tape runner to the brown cardstock. And then after that's taped down, I'm just going to trim around the edges and leave a really thin border just to create a mat, and this brown color will just bring it all together really nicely and contrast against the blue cardstock. And I liked how that looked, so I went ahead and adhered that piece on top of the card base as well, and that finishes off the card. Here are some close-ups of the card. I really like how these 2 birds worked with that sentiment. I think it's just a perfect way to match them together. And you can see in some of these pictures here what I meant about the under layer of the birds showing, so that's why I colored in the bottom layer as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you liked it so that YouTube knows that you want to see more tutorials like this, and make sure to subscribe to the Alleyway Stamps and my YouTube channel. On screen here are a couple of other videos that I've created for the Alleyway Stamps, so you can go ahead and click the pictures on screen to bring you to those tutorials. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.